Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Game of the Year edition of the United Gamedom podcast. I am one of your hosts, Darren, aka Dow, and of course, I'm always joined by my illustrious two co-hosts, Dennis and Derek. How you doing, guys?
Hello.
Hello, good, how are you?
Doing fine. Very much the same way as last year, where I recorded this on my last day off, and I'm doing it the same time this as well as my last day off. Back to work tomorrow after 2 weeks, which fucking flew by. To be honest, they just pretty much went in a whisper, so they did.
Yeah, they always do.
Yeah, they always go flew by, and I just always hate it when it goes flying by. But that's just way of things nowadays.
Yep.
My audio. I'm just gonna say now. If you're hearing this now, I'm using a new mic, so I am. So my audio might be quite different to what it was before. I'm using a Yeti microphone now, so I am. So the sound will probably be a bit better on my end now. But anyway, let's get going. 2015 was an interesting year for games. What did you guys think overall in terms of 2015?
I thought it was a good year for video games. I guess in the in a whole, I guess. Wait, what do you guys think? I don't know really what to answer to that. I thought it was a good year.
Some
I thought it was
Go
good
ahead.
in that it was easier to choose like one or two Game of the Year games rather than last year, which was kind of tricky. But I don't think this year was as good as a lot of people think.
I
Just
agree.
because I don't play a whole lot of the indie games that everybody does.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
But the thing with me was, even though I didn't really have like a gaming rut last year as like I did in 2014, I probably finished like less games from last year than I did in 2014 in terms of what came out last year, and therefore it was kind of hard to actually fill out my top 10 list overall, as opposed to like previous years. Hence why my list is a bit interesting.
Mm.
Because most of the games I have on my list are pretty much like most of the games on it I finished. The only games I kind of finished though, except for like one really, or one or two pretty much. But I'm curious to see what your guys have. But like I said, it's not. It was a good year, but again, like 2014, there was a lot of delays that when the games went on to 2015, and then also games that were supposed to come out in 2015 got delayed until 2016. So hopefully 2016 will end up being a good year and not have 50 million delays. But the year's just begun, so we'll just have to wait and see. Um, like we did last year, we're pretty much going to go through our honourable mentions there first of all, and then we'll go through numbers 10 to 6, and then go through our disappointments if we have any. I have 3, and then
Yeah,
we'll
I
go
think I have
through.
three.
I'll go through our 5 to 1. So anyway, I will choose Dennis to go through your honourable mentions first.
Okay, so okay, I have five honorable mentions. I actually selected. I did make the top 10 of this year. One of them is Destiny: The Taken King. Um, it was number 10 for for a little bit, but then dropped, and then I played a couple of other games, and it bumped it off the top 10. I enjoyed going back in it. I think The Taken King is a great expansion. It finally put a story into the game instead of having like random stuff happen. I think the story was pretty good. I enjoyed going back with you guys and a couple of guys at work. We did that raid that lasted how long? We did with Mike and
About 3.5 to 4 hours, I believe it was
yeah,
overall.
we did that raid. So that was my second raid. I did a raid with my well, the same. I think it was the same raid I did with my friends from work. Um, so yeah, I think the leveling up. They fixed the leveling up. They fixed the loot, which made the game more enjoyable instead of hunting for you know uh, higher light stuff to level up your character and all that. I think it made it more enjoyable, and that's why it's an honorable mentions. I'm pretty sure you guys have it in your top tens, but
Oh yes, definitely, because me and Derek pretty much played the shit out of that game from like the second half of September to pretty much into October. We pretty much practically played it nearly every day, so we did.
yeah,
Yeah, I
I know you
basically played
guys.
it every day for like a month, a good month, month and a half maybe.
Yeah, yeah, because like we like you know us last year, like it was both in our top tens last year now, and it's going to be the same way because it's pretty much a new game now
Yep,
with the amount of changes they
exactly.
made with the whole 2.0 update, and it's definitely for the better now. Like the looting's a lot easier now. The level and like the light system things like a lot better than it was before though. You usually get something better for your gear not there for the most part during doing some of the harder missions, and there was like a lot of cool like missions and stuff like that there, like doing certain daily missions, and all of a sudden there's this like hidden task to do if you did a certain thing, like the Black Widow I think it was, or Black Spider, whatever it's called. Like you had to do a certain task in order to access that area and do that there little mission as well. So they made
The
like
Black
all for the
Spindle.
better though. Back spindle, that's it. I know it's something that associated with spiders anyway, so thanks for correcting me there. But yeah, I really did enjoy it, but I'll talk about it more when I get into my top 10 anyway. So
Yeah, I didn't play as much as you guys did, but I did enjoy what they did to the game, and it's a brand new game, and it's really cool now to be honest. Other game is Mortal Kombat X, which I really enjoyed playing. Even though it was way easier than the previous Mortal Kombat 9, which was kind of difficult. A couple of battles were kind of hard to get through. The story mode in this is rather easy to get through. I only had difficulty maybe once or twice. Really enjoyed it. Enjoyed the breaching of the old and new generations, like that. They 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 bring them together, and I think that was pretty cool. The story was all right. I enjoyed it. Played a couple of games online. Played against Darren. Played a couple of times.
yeah, through the PS4 share system, because that was the only way we were able to play it
Yeah,
together.
that's right. Because I think it's region locked, is it? Or
Yeah, for some fucking reason, I don't know why, but that was the only way we were able to do it through the share play.
yep. So yeah, another enjoyable game. Other one is Pillars of Eternity, which I played on PC. Really enjoyed that style of game. If you're into like Baldur's Gate, uh, type video games, reminded me a little bit of the original Dragon Age. Um, and not Dragon. Is it Dragon? Not Dragon Age. Is it Dragon Age? Yeah, Dragon Age. The original one. Um, you have your squad. You go around and you do missions. You do quests around the town. I should go back to it because I, briefly remember the premise of the story and everything. But I remember enjoying it, and I played it for a pretty long while last year. Really enjoyed it. Other game is City Skylines, which is a city builder video game, which I know I think you guys aren't into at all. uh,
No, I've never played any of them games, but I know a lot of people like them, and this is pretty much the game I think SimCity the reboot should have been.
yeah, it is. It's
I actually used to
like
play SimCity a lot. I played it on Super Nintendo, and then I played SimCity 2000 on Windows 3.1 a
okay,
lot.
so
That was like one of the few games I had on PC.
mhm,
But then after that, I didn't really. I could play a little bit of SimCity 3000, but not a whole lot.
mhm. Well, City
Some of the really old
Skylines,
ones.
yeah, City Skylines is pretty much like SimCity. I think it's more, how can I say, ghetto if you want, like it's more of a less like blinged out version of SimCity if you like. Since it's on Steam, you can add all sorts of things. You can mod it as you want. Add day-night cycles, add seasons, add all sorts of stuff, which made the game really cool. I played a pretty big chunk of that game. I found it easier than it was to play SimCity, because at some point, you have to worry about the water and the electricity and all sorts of stuff. In this, it's pretty much only the traffic you need to worry about. You need to make roads where people can go around the traffic instead of getting stuck in it. But yeah, the game, I really enjoyed the time I spent playing that game. I think it was this summer or just before summer. And finally, Game of Thrones, which is a Telltale game.
That's also on my honorable mentions list, so we can pretty much just talk about it together.
Yeah. Game of Thrones is one of 3, I would say, games of its type that I played this year that I really enjoyed. Didn't make the top 10 list though, because I think there are better games that I played this year, honestly. And
yes, the other two episodic games are better though, and this had its kind of didn't have its it had its weak points, to be honest, though, in certain episodes.
Yeah, it's not as poignant, I would say, or as gripping as the other two were this year, which are both in my top 10. But it's still pretty good. If you're a fan of the Game of Thrones television show, there are a lot of actors that are in the video game. You have Tyrion is in there, and there's Cersei, and who else is in there? There's
Marjorie and Jon Snow.
Marjorie, Jon Snow, and Khaleesi is in there also. So yeah, there's a couple of stars from the television show that are in the game. I won't go into the story too much unless you want to there, and I don't know if you want to talk about it.
It's if it was in our top 10, we'll probably would talked about it more. But just basically, it's about this, House Forrester.
Yeah.
And they have this rivalry with the Whitehills, isn't it?
Yeah. Which are briefly mentioned in the books, but are not talked about in the television show. Which I found it kind of weird, I guess, Yeah, you take something that some people might know about, like the White Hills and the Foresters are briefly mentioned in the books, but they're not in the TV show at all. I don't think you don't even see them in the TV show.
But the thing is, the start of it takes place at the sort of end of season 3.
Yeah.
At the
Red Wedding.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then it goes toward like around sort of after. Around sometime in season 4, I believe it is.
I think right up until Tyrion escapes.
You're right.
If I'm not mistaken. Somewhere around there. So yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was. But yeah, as you said, there are some weak points to the game. I don't think there's enough. Like the decisions don't really impact as much as I thought it would. You know what I mean?
There are a few now that do impact though, but not like a lot of them don't though. And there's certain storylines those story threads that I enjoyed more than others.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed what was it? Mira. I liked her little storyline she had, and I liked the main I forget, but I wasn't really entirely into guards as much though. His kind of went on and off though. Sometimes it was interesting, and other times it was like
yeah, Mira's in King's Landing with the Marjorie and Cersei and Tyrion and all those guys. And what was the name of the guy that goes to the wall? Garrett. Yeah, Garrett meets Jon Snow, and he's in the brother. I was about to say Brotherhood of Steel, but that's not that's not the right thing. He's a part of the Crows, so he deserts them and all that. So it's an interesting, if you're into the Game of Thrones lore, into the series and all that, more into the TV series, I would say, than in the books. But if you're into the TV series, it's worth a peek. There's some interesting stuff in there. And I thought the real, again, not the quote unquote real actors performances weren't all that great. Marjorie was all right, but the rest were kind of not really
Pretty
stiff.
much it felt, yeah, pretty much felt like they were just reading it off a page,
Yeah,
just very stilted.
especially Jon Snow, which was really, really, I thought was really fucking bad. But yeah, it's still worth a look. So that's it for my honorable mentions. So those 5 games.
I will go with mine now. I have a few as well. I said talked about Game of Thrones alright, so I'll just leave that as it is. One that the one I have on my list though, which I enjoyed but I just didn't play enough of, which I probably know will be in Derek's top 10, is Dying Light.
Yeah,
It's a game that came out quite early last year, so it was, and I played like a lack of hours of it though, but just I don't know what. I just something else came around or something, and I just sort of left it at the curb and never really picked it up again. To be honest, though, but I know a lot of people did like it though. Derek did especially play the hell out of it, so he did.
yeah,
And it's a good game though, and I know you got on PC recently, Dan. So
yeah. I still need to dive
uh,
into that. So haven't played
yeah,
it yet.
but I know it's a good game now anyway. So, but I know that would probably be in Derek's top 10 anyway.
Yep.
Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate came out last year. This one was it's probably I've played a few of the Monster Hunter games now. This is the one I probably put the most time into, but still not really enough to warrant a top 10 position. I know a lot of people, like some people that follow on my Twitter feed, absolutely love the Monster Hunter series. And I think this is probably the best one there's been, like, since I started playing. Like I played, 3 Ultimate, and like the 3 Try, which is basically just the vanilla version of 3. But this one I played like maybe about, I'd say, 10 to 15 hours of. And I played some with Derek, I believe, and a few other people as well. I played some of them online though, and it's fun, just going around, equipping yourself up, gearing yourself up to, fight a certain monster, and, make sure you have the right, tools and that there. But I never got into like the deep, game stuff where you have to make sure you've got the right tools to take down like the more elite monsters. But like all I got to was like the second area. Like there's like a few areas in the game, but I got to like the second sort of main area in the game. That's kind of where I stopped playing it though. Just never picked it up again. Maybe one I might pick up again in the future. Super Mario Maker.
Oh, it's
This
not in
is
your top 10. Wow. Okay.
No. Mainly the fact is I didn't really put a lot of time into this game because of Destiny: The Taken King. That's because this came out like a few days before Destiny did, and once Destiny came out, I pretty much Super Mario Maker got kicked to the curb, and I played nothing but Destiny. And I've gone back to Super Mario Maker a few times over the last few months though, but I just never really put the time into it as much as other people have.
Is it as great
It
as
is a
Giant Bomb kind of thinks it is, or is it?
well, they have their. I think they kind of have a bias towards it because of the way their levels and like the way they had their interactions with it, though.
Yeah,
Might
exactly.
have, I felt that's the reason why they have a more appreciation of it than certain other people do. But it is a great, game slash creative tool system though, because the whole, ROM hack thing has been going for years now with people creating their own Mario levels through like ROMs and doing like Kaizo Mario and things like that.
Mm.
And this is just it now accessible for everyone, and it's just very well intuitive. It's just very easy to make your levels, whether it's just a standard bog standard level or like a fucking Dan Riker devious level with these like various puzzles and things like that now. And I have seen a bunch of stages. Some of them are very creative though, and they're pretty awesome to look up. But there's also really quite shit ones as well. And the ones that came out when it first came out tend to be one of those ones like don't move. Like ones you just on a like track, and he's like
Yeah.
don't move, and like all this shit just happens. Like enemies fly, and obstacles just pop out of nowhere and things like
I
that.
never
though.
understood those levels, to be honest. I don't know why they
They're
exist.
just there for show. But there's other ones that are just really creative. Just use like different enemies in very creative ways and things like that. Now, like one of the ones is looking at 80 awesome games done quick though, where someone put like a wall of tromps together, and like you had to run away from them, and it's like and like had like an enemy I think it was one of the moles or something at the bottom,
Mhm.
and like you had to run away from the tromps, and like it was moving like very fast. It was just very done. Like certain people, like Dan Riker said, I wouldn't even think of that. So it's pretty cool though, Super Mario Maker. But like I said, didn't put enough time into it though to warrant a top 10 position, to be honest. Um, Mario Luigi Paper Jam. It came out here in 2015, hence I'm including it in my list. So yeah, it's the only.
I've never heard of that
3DS
game. To be honest, I never heard of that game at all.
Yeah, it's part of the. It's the fifth in the Mario Luigi series
Okay.
that debuted back on the Game Boy Advance. I really like the games. This is the fifth one. I haven't finished it yet though, but I probably put like 15 to 20 hours into it yet. Like I love these games mainly because of the fact that I love the battle system in it though, the way it works, where you can avoid enemies attacks like easy. You just like do like active jump, like they might throw a hammer, you jump, and they might come towards you, you can jump and land on them at the same time, and do extra damage and things like that. They're like the whole battle system, and it's just so great though, and that's really the reason why I really like these games. But there's like it's kind of has its humor as well, which is either you love it or you hate it though. But it's just really the battle system that's the main draw. Rainbow Six Siege. Yes, it's not in my top 10, Dennis. I'm sorry to say.
I think you don't like it as much as I do.
Yeah, I do like the game, but like you said, not as much as you do. Me and Dennis have been playing this over the last few weeks. It came out like last month, December, and we played like a bunch of nights. We haven't touched the multiplayer whatsoever. All we've done is terrorist hunt, pretty much.
I've done some multiplayer by myself. But...
Yeah, you've done. Oh, yeah, you've done multiplayer, but I haven't.
Mhm.
I don't. Like I said, I haven't touched the multiplayer whatsoever. I didn't even touch it during the beta. I haven't touched it whatsoever. All I've done is terrorist hunt.
Yep.
And there's a bunch of like terrorist hunt, modes you could say. There's like extract the hostage. There's disarm bomb. There's terrorist hunt classic, and there's defend hostage.
Yep.
And let's just say a few of them, you need more people to be more successful. Because it's just us two, and it doesn't really, cater to, like, it doesn't, like, reduce the difficulty down to, like, just two people. It's just basically going to be same whether you're playing on your own or not.
Yeah.
And finally, Dying Light. Not Dying Light, Until Dawn. It's one of the last games I played from 2015. I really didn't. I enjoyed the game though. It's like it's pretty much like a Quantic Dream game done right in a way. Despite the fact I like the Quantic Dream games, but I'm in the minority. So yeah, I know people fucking detest David Cage, but it's pretty much just that genre of games where you go around, you do QTEs, you move around, you like these certain choices, certain things you do affect like the rest of the game and that there. And like this is the one where certain characters die if you do certain choices earlier in the game, and there's like you can actually go through the game with everyone surviving, which I done, or everyone can die, which I know Derek eventually did. I think when he did his playthrough, I think like a few people survived, and then one of them didn't, and then he basically said, I'm just going through this again. Is that correct, Derek?
I finished it. One person survived, quote unquote.
Okay.
It was like a post-credit scene. And then I was like, oh, I guess that didn't count as him dying, so I went back and I changed one thing, which made him actually die.
So you killed everyone.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Because there's like trophies for everyone dying, there's trophies for everyone surviving and things like that there.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a very interesting game. Now I enjoyed it though. So it is. It's just like it's just basically kind of your horror tropes. You know, bunch of teens in this cabin in like the mountains, and there's this like sort of psycho killer about. And there's like a kind of twist in the middle of it though, which is pretty predictable.
Yeah.
If you
I saw the
you watched
Alex play through it. Yeah.
yeah. So, but it's still a good game though. Like I got it when it was like less than 20 quid. I wasn't gonna pay full price for it though anyway.
Yeah, I got it for $16 on Black
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah,
I liked that game up until a point where a character died because of a stupid QTE.
Yeah.
And then I said, fuck it, and I'm just going to kill everybody else on purpose just because.
That's one of
If
two
they all
things-
can't survive, then they're all going to die. I don't want to have just a few of them survive. I don't know. I was just kind of mad. So
Yeah, that's one of two
it.
things that kept me away from that game. QTEs. That kept
Well,
me
it's
away
weird.
from it.
It's weird because some of them don't matter. Like you can purposely fail some of them. That's what I was doing after that point on. I just didn't do anything. I just never pressed a button. And like you still get through it, like it's the same outcome, but then there are some others where it does affect like the characters
Story.
living or dying. It's weird.
Okay.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the final chapter. There's a certain part where you have to have the controller not move
Yeah.
whatsoever, and during that part, if it moves whatsoever, that's it. You're dead.
Yep.
And I fucked that up once, and I said, "Fuck this! I want to do it again." Because I know for a fact I didn't move the controller, and it fucking
I purposely
triggered.
moved just to kill the.
Yeah,
Whoa! Just throw the.
yeah. It was like I think it was like the last one, and not like there was like it's like 3 or 4 of them kind of in a row. And I think it was like the last one, and I fucking had it like I was still as a rock, and then all of a sudden just boop. I was like, "What the fuck? I didn't move the controller," and it like died. And I was like, "Fuck this! I'm doing."
Didn't you
this
just
again."
put it on the floor at that point, or?
No, I actually had. I have it in my hand though.
Okay.
'Cause I'm very quite, because it didn't like. I was the only time it happened, I believe. Or it might have happened one other time though. But other than that, like every time I had it, like it was said, "Don't move." I was like, "Yep." Just still as a
I
rock.
think that's
breathe,
what Vinny did as well. Like he was at the very end and then like screwed something up and everybody ended up dying or something. And he saved scummed and did what you did and like everybody survived.
Yeah.
Save scum. Yeah, I guess I'm a safe scum.
I did that a lot in Fallout. Saves comes.
I did that in The Witcher as well though.
Yeah.
Certain parts as well where like you just want to I got past this part, okay, I'm saving it. So anyway, that's my honorable mention. So Derek, take it away.
Okay, I have 3. The first game I was reminded of when you talked about Monster Hunter. I totally forgot that it came out last year. I didn't play a whole lot of it. I played it a fair amount. It's basically Monster Hunter, but it's more accessible. And that game is Tokiden Kiwami on PS4. It's basically the same exact formula as Monster Hunter. You're going out fighting monsters with all these different character classes and different types of weapons. There's like 10 weapons. Each one has a different, style to it, different like button combinations to learn. But there's like actually a story or more of a story or more of characters, and it's just easier to get into. Plus it's on a console, it's not on a handheld, so it looks a lot better. And it's got some interesting designs. It's kind of like Dynasty Warriors style, but Monster Hunter pretty much. And you can dismember the monsters when you're fighting them. Like if you do enough damage to one of their limbs or tail or something, you can cut it off, and then it like grows back or something. But it'll still show that you damaged that limb all the way. There's like this ghost vision or something. I forget what it's called, where you can kind of look at the different body parts and see how much damage you're doing to each one. So that's kind of cool. There's a lot to the game. I haven't spent a whole lot of time with it. I think I played it online a couple times with my friend who is really, really into Monster Hunter, and he decided to check this out since it's similar to that. It's a good game. I kind of wish I had spent more time with it, but there's so many other games to play. So
Yes, I've been meaning to get it as well, though. Because it's an enhanced version of the PS Vita game that I think came out in 2014 now. So it is. So it's just basically an enhanced version of it now. Like kind of like, but it did come out last year. But I think I played the demo.
yeah,
Of
there's
it,
a
so
demo,
I
and
did.
the demo was really long. You can do a whole lot in the demo, and it
Yeah, we played
transfers your progress over to the main game too.
yeah, we played maybe about, let's say, 30 minutes of it or so of the demo though. But it was pretty good though. So I might get the full. I'll probably might get it cheap nowadays anyway.
Um, two more. One of which was in my top 10 like a week ago until I played some other games recently that I kind of pushed it down to honorable mention. That's a game that came out way earlier in the year on PS4, but now it's on PC. I don't know if it's on Xbox or not. But that is Axiom Verge.
No, it's just on the PC, I believe.
Okay. It's basically a 2D side-scrolling platformer action, like Super Metroid, pretty much. It's like a callback to Super Metroid, and like it has really good music. I really like the visual style of it. There's a lot of tons of different weapons to collect and like powers and stuff. It's a really good game. It definitely would have been in my top. Well, obviously it's in my top 15, I guess you could say. But there were a lot of games this year, and it just got slightly eked out of the top 10. So, but I really enjoyed it. Especially loved the music. That said, there is one track that really bothers me just because you have to go through this area all the time, and there's this like annoying woman's like not like a scream, but like this. I don't know. Like I don't know if she's singing. It's like a mix between a singing and
A
screaming,
whale.
and it's just really annoying. Yeah, like a whale. I don't.
So
That
Florence and the
bugs
Fan.
me. And that's the track that like Brad played on like the best music section. It's like, really, you're gonna choose that track?
Oh,
So-
Brad is Brad.
Yeah. Speaking of that, that's the same thing. I could say that. I could say the same thing to him about fucking Ori. It's like, geez, you can, like that's the track you played for Ori and the Blind Forest for best music. There's fucking so many better tracks that
Yeah.
could have been played.
The only person that was prepared for that whole thing was Austin.
Yeah.
Not just for the music part, but I mean for the entire Game of the Year podcast in general. It's like they went in there with having like some idea what they want to talk about, but not really giving enough examples of like music, definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
And the best track in Axiom Verge is like the first level. That's like the best one, I think.
That's another game I played a bit of, but just never played enough of. I'll need to play. I think it came out around the same time as Bloodborne.
Yeah, it did.
Like
It was like a week after.
So, yeah.
something.
So I pretty much got kicked to the curb because.
Of course, Bloodborne was originally supposed to come out sooner, but got delayed.
Yeah, by a month.
Yep.
And then yeah.
Instead of a year.
And then one game that I'm putting on as honorable mention just because I really enjoyed it, even though I didn't actually play it.
I wonder what this is.
And it's really only on here because it's funny, and it's like funny to watch like Vinny play the game and just figuring things out. And this is a PC only game. It's probably not the game you guys are thinking of.
Oh, okay, it's not there.
This is Contradiction.
Yeah.
Why did I not fucking? I should have put that on my honorable mentions list. I completely forgot.
Did you
Now
play?
that
You
you
played it
mention
though,
it.
didn't you?
I did play it. I watched the quick look and that there, the supplemental. And I think I watched like some of the first part of the play date, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna get this. I got on the iPad because that's where it originally came out on the iOS.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, that was really fun to watch, though. It was fun to
Yeah, it
watch.
came out on iOS like around this time last year, and then it came out in the PC like during the summer. So that's why I got it though on the PC on the iOS though and played through it then. So go ahead.
Yeah, it's really entertaining to watch Vinny and Alex and them play through the game. Like, it's not something that I would probably ever play, but I really did enjoy what was in the game. Like the acting and the the characters and figuring out the story. And like you're trying to pick out, statements from these different characters to prove or disprove something, about the story and figure out like where this missing person went. Was her name Kate? Is that who it was?
Yeah, I think it's
Kate.
Kate.
Yeah.
I think her name.
And it seems like they could do another game.
Yeah, they were
Contradiction
talking about doing
2 or
another one.
something, so.
The ending kind of alluded that there would be some sort of sequel, though.
Yeah.
Like, I think this was like a Kickstarter, like a backer project anyway,
yeah.
so it was.
Yeah, I read something on that. Yeah.
So it was on, and I was glad to see that something like this, because if the Giant Bomb didn't do this, I would never have heard of this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, me either.
Me neither.
But I was like, during the summer months where nothing came out, though, and it's like, we might as well just do something, and the unveiled this little gem to us.
Yep. I'm sure they loved it too.
It's cool. So
Yeah,
that's it for my
cool little game.
honorable mention. Even though I didn't actually technically play that game, but I think it's a game that deserves mention.
It is worth mentioning. That's for sure.
Yeah, I did play it actually, but I forgot to put it down here. But yeah, it's a fun little wee game though. It's like a couple of hours. And actually, it's more than that. It's probably about.
Is it like 7 or 8 hours or something around that?
Well, if you know what to do, pretty much it'll be like pretty short though. But like I think I spent maybe 3 to 4 hours on it, so I did.
Okay.
Overall, and I had to look up though at certain points towards the end because I had no idea where to fucking go next. I was like, okay, it's like certain of these statements you had to fucking like look back all the way at certain items you picked up at the start of the fucking game to contradict certain characters. That's where it got like kind of tricky. But yeah, that's great. That's a great little wee FMV game, and one best use of SMV in the Giant Bombs, deservedly so. So anyway, we are going to go into our top 10 now. So Dennis, what is your number 10?
Okay, the way I'm going to do my top 10, I'm going to mention the game right away. And then talk about it, like not keep people thinking.
Yeah.
I'm going to mention it right away. Number 10 is Batman Arkham Knight, which I played on PS4 because the PC version was broken to hell. So yeah, Batman Arkham Knight was done by Rocksteady. They came back into the series after a little break. I really enjoyed the game. I enjoyed the story. Enjoyed the characters in the game. Some returning, some new ones. I like the way that you think Batman is losing his mind. And because of a certain event that happens in the game, I won't spoil it for people who are still playing it on PC probably. But yeah, something happens in the game, and he's slowly losing his mind, and hallucinations and all sorts of stuff, which is a nice little twist. It's pretty cool. And I really enjoyed the game. The only thing maybe that I didn't enjoy as much is the Batmobile. I thought some point in the game, especially towards the end, when you have those big tanks that you have to shoot from the rear, I really did not enjoy that part at all. But all that aside, like the regular Batman stuff is quite good. The story's great. The actors are great. And I hope to see another Batman game soon if the whole PC debacle hasn't tarnished Rocksteady too much. I hope to see a new one really soon. That's my number 10.
I don't think they'll be doing another one. I think this will probably be the last one that Rocksteady will do, and then they'll probably move on to something else.
Okay.
Kind of like
Oh yeah, they said it was the last one. Yeah, they're moving on to another DC property, which I think will be Superman. Because there hasn't been a decent Superman game ever in the history of video games. So yeah.
There has been games that featured Superman in the being like Injustice, but in terms of an actual Superman licensed game on his own, there's never been a good one.
Yeah, everybody remembers
whatsoever.
what was it, Atari one or was it Nintendo?
Superman 64.
Superman 64, yeah.
Considered one of the worst games of all time.
Yeah.
And if you watch certain videos of it, like the Angry Video Game Nerd did, you can see why.
Yeah.
Because it looks god awful.
Yep. So it's about time
Um,
somebody did a Superman game, especially with the movie coming out this year. I think it would be the perfect time to unveil it, at least. Maybe not release it, but unveil that there's a new Superman game coming out, and that would be interesting to see from Rocksteady. But I don't know who's going to pick up the Batman license, but I hope they do. They continue to good work, because I really enjoyed Arkham Knights.
Well, Telltale's doing a Batman
Yeah, Batman.
episodic series, so we'll just have to see how that goes.
Yep. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, Batman Arkham Knight. I had it on the PC, so I did.
Yeah.
But like I never really had any. Like I never played much of it though. We've played like 30 minutes to an hour of it though. Mainly because the fact is I didn't finish Arkham City when it came out, and I only played through Arkham City properly for the first time this year, and therefore I didn't want to play 2 Arkham games, back to back in the 1 year, because that would be too much. So it's going to be one of those games I'll play this year instead.
Yeah.
So it will be very much like Assassin's Creed Syndicate as well. Those are 2 of the games came out last year that I'll be, definitely playing this year.
Yeah. That's a good game. I enjoyed it, for sure.
Okay, my number 10 is basically the sort of other big Nintendo release that came out this year. It's Splatoon. I was kind of having a hard time putting what to put in my number 10 position though. Could have been any of some of the games I mentioned in my honorable mentions list. The other sort of 9 games I kind of had pretty much not locked though, but had to figure out though, and just switch positions about. But yeah, Splatoon. It's Nintendo based multiplayer shooter per se, and it's probably the best one that's like kind of multiplayer sort of shooter in a way I've played, because it's just a lot of fun. Like you don't have to take it seriously. You basically be like a kid. You just go around shooting paint all over, or like ink or whatever it is on walls. It just basically it's like try to capture the most territory in a certain stage, and that's pretty much the gist of it. It's fun. I didn't play a whole ton of it now, but like I played enough of it, and I played most of the single player as well to sort of warrant it though, and it was a really fun game. But like I said, I just had a hard time trying to put a game in the top 10. I could have put something else though, but I just decided to put this out because I did really enjoy playing it back when it came out originally though.
Yeah.
And I really do dig the soundtrack. It's very crazy-ish soundtrack, which now I know some people probably wouldn't dig it though, but I liked it though, especially that kind of the main theme. I think they played during the giant bomb deliberations. But yeah, it's a fun game. I do love the graphic style as well though, and it's very fun. So that's my number 10.
Okay, I guess it's my turn.
Yep.
My number 10 is a game that's not on anybody's top 10 list that I've seen. Definitely nobody that I know. And I'm currently playing it. And that is Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel, which is the second game in the Legend of Heroes franchise, I guess. But it's set in a different part of the world, so you don't really need to know what's going on with like the first game. So it's like you can just jump right in, and I haven't played any of the Legend of Heroes games, and there's no issues with me with getting into the story or the characters. So I've put about a dozen hours into it now. It's on PS3, and it's also on Vita. I'm playing it on PS3, and it's a JRPG. It has a lot of similarities to Persona in that there are like social links, and you're going through a calendar, and you're like in school basically. You're in like this military school, and the combat system is pretty unique. I don't really have anything directly to compare it to. Like you can move around in the battlefield, but it is turn-based, so you can either move or you can attack, on your turn. It's not like a strategy RPG like Fire Emblem or anything like or Final Fantasy Tactics or anything. It looks more like Persona or like something in the battle system. But like the story hasn't really picked up yet. Like you're still kind of like getting introduced to the world and the characters. Like you're in a class of was it eight or nine other students, and you're all from different areas of the world. Like some of them are like poor students, some of them are nobles, some of them are like rich students, and like you still don't know why everybody's in this special class. And you don't exactly know what's going on and everything yet, but like it has some really interesting characters so far that I really enjoy, and I really like the combat system. It's cool because your social links in like outside of the combat system will come into the combat system, and that you level them up, and each level you can do like certain abilities. Like some enemies are going to be weak to like piercing attacks or slashing attacks, and if you hit them with one of those types of attacks and you're linked to another character, then your other character can get an extra hit in on the enemy. It's kind of like if you get a critical or something, then your other character you're linked to can get a hit in. They can also get like a finishing blow as well. And there's probably way more to it. I've only gotten like to level 2 with one of my social links so far. So that's really interesting. It has like magic, you can use magic, and then you also have crafts, which is like a different gauge. There's like, your magic gauge and then your craft gauge. And then there are super attacks. Like you can do those at any time, which is kind of cool once you get your gauge built up. Like if it's somebody else's turn, you can just hit triangle and then select one of your characters that has its gauge built up and use like it's called like an S attack or S link attack or something. And you can use that at any time with the battle. It's kind of neat. It doesn't have to be your turn. So that's kind of cool. But I think there's probably still more to the battle system that I haven't discovered yet. So it's kind of like a slower going game, which is kind of like Persona 4 is like that as well, and especially Persona 3. Like it takes a while to get into, but like once you get into it, you're really, really, really into it. So I'm really enjoying it. I decided to put it in my top 10 because I have a feeling that I'm going to enjoy it like even more than I am now, or to the point where it might even be higher if I had finished the game. But
that's the case with one of my games where I didn't play enough of a certain game. It was a bit lower on my list, but after playing a bunch of it, you pretty much know what the game is. It went higher in my list.
And this game like came out in December 20th or something, so it's basically the very end of 2015. So it's getting completely forgotten by everybody. So
yeah, because pretty much everyone does their game of the year list like
in November.
Pretty much.
November and mid-December anyway. So, that's why I tend to wait until January to do my top 10s, and not there.
Yeah.
In case there is certain games like Mario and Luigi came out in the tail end of the year as well. Like this, it came out in December. Rainbow Six Siege came out in December, and games like that. Now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even the games that came out early in the year, people seem to forget as well.
Yep.
I mean, people are talking about Bloodborne, but not a lot of people are talking about Dying Light. At least that I can see.
Yeah.
So, and
exactly.
that came out
like
right away.
Yeah, I was like one of the first. Yeah,
I think Brad had it in his top 10. That's pretty much it.
It's like everybody, by the time they do their game of the year, people like forget about the game because they played it so long ago.
Yeah, I always go back and take a look at a list, like on Wikipedia or something, and okay, I played that. Yeah.
I mean, it is hard to remember. Like, okay, I really, really enjoyed it at the time.
Yeah,
but how much did I enjoy it
difficult.
compared to this game that I just recently played?
Exactly. Yeah.
So.
Gone Home, I think, came out early in the year as well, and it got in the top 10, didn't it? In Jam Bomb.
Last year.
I think it
did it?
Yeah, I think it came out in the first few months. I'll check the release date here, but I'm pretty sure it did.
It could be.
So it did.
Thought we were talking about Grow Home.
Grow Home, I mean.
Grow Home?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I said Grown Home. I don't know why I said Grown Home. Silly fucking me.
I think everybody had that in their fucking top 10. Grow Home.
Yeah, it came out in February 4th. So it came out, I think it came out the week after Dying Light.
The Dying Light came out in January, I think, right?
Yeah, pretty much came out the week after. So yeah.
And I'll be playing it in January of 2016. So a year later. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, sounds like an interesting game. Like I heard good things about that there Trails of Cold Scale. I know someone else was playing it though on my Twitter, and I've heard a lot of people really like the Trails of the Sky series as well, and the second chapter of it came out last year as well. So it did on the Vita, I believe.
Hmm.
I know a lot of people really like it as well. I've got the first Trails of the Sky in the PSP, but I'll probably get in the PC if I ever go around to play it because I never touch my PSP now. So anyway, that was Derek's number 10. So Dennis, on to your number 9.
Yeah. As you, Darren, my number 10, number 9 kind of went back and forth between the honorable mentions and the actual top 10. My number 9 is NHL 16. The reason why that game is on the top 10 is because, well, first of all, it's way better than the 2014 game that came out, which was lackluster to say the least. A lot of missing components and a lot of stuff that you usually see in a hockey game, like the 3 stars, were not in the game. Um, really bare bones, really a bad rushed game. But last year's game was a really, really, really big improvement on the previous year. You had everything a hockey game should have. Even more, they put in the arenas when a team scores a goal, there's like a special song that plays. Montreal Canadiens have it. Probably the Minnesota Wild have it also. It's there's like a song that plays. It's always the same song when a goal is scored. They put that in the game for 19 of the 30 teams because probably the other 11 had some licensed music that couldn't be used. So um, they put that in there. They put the mascots of the NHL teams who have mascots. They're in the game, which doesn't seem like a big thing, but when you play the game and you see the mascot is in the stands and goofing around with people, and it adds a little something special to the overall experience of a hockey game. The game plays very well. The graphics are way better. You don't see like a goal. You also don't see goals scored like from the middle of the ice. You just shoot and it goes in, like the goalie's facing the other way or stuff like that. Or you don't see that anymore. I haven't seen that in this year's game, which you used to see pretty much all the time in the previous games. It's very much tweaked, almost to perfection, you should say, and it's a very solid hockey game. They implanted like if you, Darren, were to buy NHL 16 and you're like, well, I want to learn how to be better at this game and how to actually play a hockey game, you can set a special feature where it tells you where each player should be on the ice. Like there's lines drawn, like this player should go here and you should be in this position, this area, this. I think that's a good add-on for people who don't really know a whole lot about hockey and want to learn a little bit more about the sport. It's a good thing that they put in there. Yeah, so NHL 16 really 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 big step up from last year, from 2014, I guess. And I hope this year's game is going to be even better. I'm looking forward to it for sure. So yeah, that's my number 9 of this year.
Okay, that's good to know. I used to play some of the. I know I got like a few of the NHL games in the past, or like a few years ago. I remember I got like the first one that came on the 360, like NHL '07.
Yeah, I think we played
Where
one of them together a couple of times, didn't we?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I played a few of them though. I think I played the trial version of last year's game. Not last year's game, the year before, the one that was like quite
Yeah,
bad.
broken. Yeah, pretty much.
Because we played the because that's when I had EA access
Yeah,
at the
you can get the
time,
game. Yeah.
so I did. Um, and like we played a few online matches together though, and it did look nice though. But like you said, like it's better this year now. They've improved a lot of things. Like there's more features now than the features that were not in last year's game are gone. Now there's a
Yeah.
few enhancements now, but
One thing I want to say is I really wish they would bring it back to PC because that game used to be on PC back in the day, and it was really great. And now it's only on consoles because probably it doesn't sell on PC, which I'm guessing is the case. But they should try. Maybe they did it with the WWE games. They should probably do it with NHL just to see if it's because FIFA is on PC, so why not bring that game on PC to see how it does? So that's what I wish they would do with that game.
Yeah, but there's a difference though. One of those games sells
Yeah,
worldwide, and another
exactly.
one does not.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of people who are interested in NHL in the United States, let's say, or something. So FIFA. I don't know if the United States is more interested in FIFA than it is in NHL, but it's pretty much back and forth. I know Madden. Well, Madden's not on PC, which is surprising to me because Madden, sells like hotcakes every year, so it's kind of surprising.
Yeah, but outside of the US, does it sell?
Yeah, probably. Madden probably doesn't sell in Europe that much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Outside the US, does it sell?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I don't think so, no. So yeah, that's my number 9. Yeah, number 9. So
Okay, my number 9 is probably a game that's not going to be in any of your top 10 lists, like a few of them, I believe. And this is one that I really enjoyed, though. I didn't necessarily finish it, though, but I got to like the last episode. It came out in PS4. It's Galaxy the Dimensional. It's kind of a sort of kind of a old school kind of 16-bit space shooter. It's not like a dual joystick one now though, because you control like one stick and then you kind of maneuver around using thrusts and things like that there. And the way it's just presented is pretty cool though. It's just they have these different episodes, or no, actually they're seasons, and each season is split into two, like 5 episodes pretty much though. Which is like it says a random mission though, where it says like go to this base and collect this certain item, or go and destroy these bugs or something like that now. And it's a roguelike game now, because if you get to say the last episode in the season, and if you somewhat die, then you're going to have, unless you have a certain amount of coins, I think it's crash coins, then you have to start the entire season again.
yeah, that sucks.
So you do.
That's what kept me away from that game, to be honest.
Yeah, and you pretty much lose all your upgrades as well, though. But if you have a certain amount of crash coins as well, and you get them converted into cash, pretty much, once you sort of start the season again, and you'll be able to, buy some of the upgrades you had, though. I just love the sort of graphic style it has. Like it's kind of a, you have this ship that turns into like a kind of like a Gundam, so it does pretty much look like a Gundam mech, so it does. It's the thing I really liked about it though, is because it just sort of had certain parts of it though, it just kind of gave me that same thrill like I did when I first played sort of like Dark Souls and games like that though, because especially when you get to like the last episode though, you really don't want to die though. It's like, oh shit, I've lost my shields now, I'm gonna die here. And there's like numerous points in the game where I was, oh my god, I'm gonna die here. I only had like 2 energy, 2 health left, and there's like a bunch of these enemies, like these big like, cruiser ships or these big bugs or something are on my tail, and like you can just get killed. You can get overrun though, if you like rush into things though, and you have to try and be strategize and things like that now. But as I said, I really did enjoy the game though. I just loved the whole graphic style to it though, and it's just kind of like anime pretty much, so it is the way it works though. And like I'm actually surprised I enjoyed this game as much as I did though. That's why it's in my top 10 though. But I really did enjoy it though, and it does like once you do certain things, it does get maybe a bit tiring after a while though, especially if you do die though a few times. You kind of don't have the heart to like do this again now. But like the things are not the same now. Like each missions, like there's certain sort of story missions kind of in a way there, you do though. But if you go through, say you die at episode 3 of season 2 for example, if you go to that episode, the first 2 episodes are not going to be the same ones you did before. They're basically, it's going to be randomly generated.
Okay.
Yeah, randomly generated, like maps and missions though. But they're kind of like this. They're going to be the same. It's going to be from the same thing though, but it's not going to be the exact same one now. Like you could be in this like big cavern thing, or you could be in this like base thing though as well. But it's I really did enjoy this game though. I got to the fourth season. Um, I heard the season 5, the last season is actually not out though, so I actually was on the last season, the like sort of last level though. But it's one of those games I need to go back and finish though. I really did enjoy it though. It's a cool ass game. And I know few people in Giant Bomb liked it. They liked the pause screen, which is basically an old school like video recorder screen, which is a nice touch. It's a bit out of it's well, not really. It's
Don't
probably,
you think there's too much of that going on right now? Like trying to do old school stuff in new video games?
Yes, there is. In certain cases, there is. Like, there is a lot of, games that are very much reminiscent of old school games, like, pixel art and, 16-bit graphics or,
Too many pixel art games.
Yeah.
Yeah, pixel art games and,
There's
that,
too many chiptunes as well.
Yeah, chiptunes, well, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I was trying to say.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I dug this game, though, quite a lot. So that's my number 9.
Okay. My number 9 is on nobody's list again. It's on 3DS. And I haven't actually finished it because I think Destiny the Taken King came out right after. Or not right after, but I was playing it and then Destiny came out, I think. But that game is... Well, let me see if I can pull up the full title. It's a Japanese like action RPG. LBX Little Battlers Experience on 3DS. I think there might actually even be a longer title for that, but it's based on the anime and the cartoon, which came out in Japan like several years ago, but I think it was airing here recently on some cable channel like Disney XD or something like that. And it shares a lot of similarities to Gundam, like Gundam Gunpla, Gundam model kits, where there's this world where these companies manufacture these things called LBX robots, and they're really small. They're like the size of, I don't know, I mean, they're smaller than like a Gundam model. They're probably 4 or 5 inches tall or something like that. And they have like motors in them, and the kids have these kind of like cell phone, like flip phone things, and they use them to control the robots, and they battle with them, and they have tournaments. And the anime story, there is like this like evil organization that's using the little robots to like commit like terroristic acts, like destroying buildings and trying to take over the world and stuff. And they outfit the little robots with actual like weapons that can kill, even though they're like really tiny. So that's interesting, and then I just love the design, I like the looks of the robots. Like I'm a big fan of Transformers, Gundam, like any kind of robot thing. So that appealed to me, and I watched all of the first season of the show, which was like 50 some episodes, I think. And then the second season, I watched probably half of it so far, and I just haven't gotten back to it. But the game follows the anime pretty much exactly. Maybe in like some spots it's summarized a bit, but it's an action game. Like I guess kind of like those Gundam Extreme games that they're out in Japan. That I know, like Austin talks about them a lot on Giant Bomb. I forget what the genre is called, but it's like a 2 versus 2 or 3 versus 2 or 3 versus 3 kind of battle system. Like on yours, you always have 3 people at least. Well, actually, sometimes you are fighting by yourself, but and you're going through these tournaments, and you're following the story of the anime where they're trying to figure out who like the bad guys are, and like your main character, his father is the one who invented the whole system, like all the LBX, the little robots. So he gave you like this special one that is like a lot more powerful than the other ones, and the bad guys are like trying to get that one and use it to like mass produce, to use it for terrorism and stuff. So I'm probably making it sound pretty boring, but if it's a really fun game. Like once you kind of get the hang of it, it's fairly easy. But one thing I've noticed towards the end when I stopped playing is the difficulty spiked quite a bit. Like they introduced systems like way later in the game that they didn't at the beginning. There's all these different customization options you can have with your robots. There's different types of weapons. You know, there's sniper rifles, like pistols, shotguns, shields, lances, swords, like pole axes, pole arms, like a whole bunch of different things. And there's a lot of different parts you can equip your unit with, and there's like, you know, a weight limit you have to worry about, and like a power, like you have to have a certain amount of power or like battery in your robot. There's a whole lot of like customization options to the game, which is pretty cool. I really enjoyed it. I put like 40 some hours into it or so. I put a lot of time into it, but I didn't actually finish it. So I don't know if I'll ever go back to it or not. I kind of want to, but there's so much other stuff that's coming out. So, but yeah, LBX, I really enjoy the game, mainly because I really like the anime as well. I don't know, I probably would like the game too because it's pretty much follows the anime almost exactly. So, but that definitely helped. You know, I kind of knew like what was coming, and I knew there's certain characters that I liked. You know, that I could see in the game, and the nice thing is you're not limited to playing as like the main character's robot. You can play as any other ones. You can actually customize yours to look like anyone you want, which is cool. So like I made mine look like one of your teammates who used to be like a bad guy, quote unquote, like he was your rival in like the tournament, but then eventually at the very end of the show, like he was on your side. So it's kind of cool playing as, you know, his robot, which I think is really cool looking. It's kind of like a Joker or like a Harley Quinn kind of looking thing. It's pretty cool. And he uses like this kind of scythe weapon, which is really neat. So yeah, LBX, that's mine. I know it's on nobody's list, but I think it's a fun game.
No.
I did see some of the footage of it on like Giant Bomb or elsewhere, and it looked pretty cool. It came out I think it came out after Destiny now, or around the same time anyway though.
Oh, I can't remember. Because I know it came out like I was playing it because there was nothing to play, and then once something else came out, I just like got addicted to the, you know, whatever that was. I'll look it up here, but
I think it came out like September though, and I think it came out like a few weeks later here now, so it did. Like a certain game that's come out over in the States at the moment is UK Watch. We haven't got it yet.
You still don't have that? No.
We don't have that game yet, nope.
Okay, LBX was August 21st.
Oh, right. So it was out before Destiny? I thought it was afterwards. I think it came out here in October or something, or end of September.
And then Destiny was September 15th, yeah. So I was playing LBX until Destiny came out.
Yeah. So that was the game. Stuff you
again, it came out again, right? The expansion.
Yeah. So yeah, that's LBX. Okay, Dennis, go with your number 8.
All right, so my number 8 game is Rainbow Six Siege, which you've already talked about, Darren. I enjoyed it maybe a little bit more than you did. Put it in my number 8 spot. I played the beta not a whole lot, but I played a bunch of it when it was announced and when it was released.
A lot more than I did, though.
Yeah.
I played maybe like 1 or 2 matches.
That's where I played my online.
Was it?
Yeah, I played online with some friends from work who got it also. We played some online. Then when I got this game with my new video card for my computer, I had the choice between this and Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I picked up Rainbow Six and started playing with you on the Terrasant, which we played a bunch of times. I really enjoy it. I think it's more difficult than the previous Rainbow Six games were, as far as the Terrasant is concerned.
Yeah, because of the fact is you don't have, respawns or anything like that now in the Vegas games as opposed to in this one than you did in Vegas now. So it's a bit where you have to be. Sometimes we just kind of, run in there with a flipping like headless chickens or something, and sometimes you say, okay, let's strategize, let's throw in like the wee drone thing and
Yeah,
mark out our enemies and things like that. Yeah.
exactly. So you can't really go in rushing like maybe the previous games you could do more strategizing. We're pretty much playing on normal. We haven't bumped it up any higher than that because it is quite difficult. The only thing maybe that's not that's missing from the game is the single player mode, which would have been really great, which the other Rainbow Six games have, which isn't included in this game, which sucks.
But we didn't. I didn't. We got it for free. We got it with the graphics card, but I didn't pay full price for it. Though I would not have paid full price for this game anyway. Though
Yeah,
when I think if you're gonna have just a multiplayer only thing, reduce it. Even if it's like $10 or $15, just don't reduce it to a certain. Like people are not going to go out of their way and pay $60 or like
yeah.
40-50 pound now for a multiplayer only game.
Case in point, Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront, which I played and is nowhere in honorable mentions or in my top 10. But yeah, I enjoy Rainbow Six. Would have been better with the single player campaign component to the thing. You do have some what they call the things situations that you can do single player. There's only like 10 of them, and it's really short.
But that's just basically their
Yeah, it's
tutorial
pretty much a
just to get you
tutorial
ready
and,
for the
yeah,
multiplayer and out there anyway.
pretty much on how to play the game. Um, Nonetheless, it's really I enjoy it a whole lot. I think it's really good. Um, Looking forward to play some more, of course, and yeah, so it's my number 8. Not a whole lot to say on a multiplayer based game, so yeah, it's better than Battlefront for sure. Even though I'm a crazy fan of Star Wars, Battlefront does not live up to what I thought it would be, but
I prefer the originals.
yeah, I agree.
I really enjoyed the original Battlefront games on the Xbox back when they first came out though, and this one, like, the things are cool, like it looks really nice, and like the sound and all that there,
Sound design's great, yeah.
second to none. It's brilliant though, but yeah, like the fact is there's not a lot of maps. The heroes, there's only like 3 heroes and villains on each side, which is not that great either though. And I kind of wish they'd added that whole like they should have put the prequel stuff in. I don't care if people hate it though. Like it would have been a better package in my opinion, because that's the Battlefront had them, had the prequel stuff and had like the original trilogy stuff as well.
And there is the Jakku map from Episode 7, so I mean, they could have put a little something from the prequels in it. So, yeah, so that's my number 8. So,
okay, right. This is going to be interesting now. Right, I'm just going to say it. My number 8 is Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain.
okay.
Wow. At least it's in your top 10, but
yeah, this was actually in my top 5 until a few weeks ago, pretty much. There's certain games that I played since then, and I kind of maneuver about though, and I just realized I did really like playing this game, but there's other games I enjoyed more. And looking back at it though, I really miss the story elements of a Metal Gear Solid game. That's mainly the main thing why this is so low on my top 10 list, because like the gameplay, like pretty much everyone's sort of applauded the gameplay, like it's the best sort of gameplay in the Metal Gear Solid series. That's the God's honest truth now. But they sacrificed they sacrificed the thing that I like about Metal Gear Solid as well, which is the whole cinematic experience, the long cutscenes, just like the absolute wackiness that occurs, like sort of the memorable characters you come across during like the story out there now, and that's really the main reason why it's not as high as it once was, and because looking back on it though. But when it comes down to the gameplay perspective of it, it's brilliant. Like, you go through these various missions, you stock up, you have your loadout though, and then you can pretty much do a mission kind of any way you want. Do you want to go in, sneak in, try not to, raise the alarm, or you can just go in and, fucking shoot to kill everyone to your heart's extent. I was more of the sort of stealthy approach where even if it got caught and if it's an easy way to kill people, I'd do it, but I was more of the stealthy approach, try to get in and do this sort of, mission without getting caught. Like the various things you do, I love the Fulton system, where you basically carry, soldiers back and see their rank though, where they are, A plus on this research and development, or are they better at this section, and you go back and build up your mother base back, and create new weapons and new gear and stuff like that there. Like, that whole system in this game is great though, and it's just basically a more refined version than what you saw in Peace Walker if you played it now, which I played like maybe an hour or two of the HD version on Xbox 360, but never really played much of it too much of it though. But it's just basically a more refined version of it, a bit more of a big blockbuster version of it though. And I did enjoy it though, but like I said, I wish the story though, and also like the worlds themselves, not really that interesting though. They're kind of lifeless. Like, besides like some of the bases and that there's hardly anything around though. It's kind of a bit lifeless. I wish there was a bit more activity in certain parts of the game as well though. And also I don't know, what did you guys think? Well, what did you think of the ending, Dark?
I liked it a lot because I'm picking up on things that nobody else is picking up on, whether they're there or not.
Yes, that's right, because you
I don't know
told me
if
something.
Dennis, did you finish the game?
No, I didn't finish it yet. No.
Okay, well then
No,
I guess
but I told.
Yeah, he
I
told
told
me.
him
I know the ending. So.
Yeah, he told me what I told him what happened anyway, because he didn't.
Yeah, I don't really care about the story, so he told me the ending.
Okay. Well, I liked it due to the fact that I was not seeing. I guess I didn't see anything coming. Like, looking back on it, like when I first started, it did seem kind of weird how like you were like choosing a face and stuff. But the whole
like when you first.
Go ahead.
No, like what you did that there, I thought that was some like, okay, that might be your kind of online avatar.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Online at first, but then like once you look back, is it okay? Now I actually kind of know why they're doing this. Like, there's certain,
right when you play the truth mission, then you like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and there's certain things like did you listen to some of the Kodak tapes and that there as well?
I listened to all of them.
Yeah, like listen to mainly the yellow ones and things like that there, and then once you figure out a certain character is the DNA test comes out, thing is like, okay, now that pretty much gave it away. So it did then.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I don't know if I should talk about it or not, just because I don't know if I want to spoil it for people that haven't played it. But
well, it's what 4 months now old now, so it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm kind of like, you can go ahead if you want though, but I'm gonna go and spoil certain games probably later on now.
Yeah.
Well, I'll talk about it when I talk about it on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you get to it.
Yeah, because I know it's probably gonna be in your list, Dark. I'm not entirely sure about you, Des. Now
It is.
Yeah, it's higher in your guys' list though. But like I said, I really did enjoy the game. Probably not as high, maybe not as high as, but I know Dark really loved it though. Like at the end of it though, and like I did enjoy it though. I put like 40 to 50 hours.
No, it's a great
though,
game.
But
obviously, it's a really good game.
But once I finished it though, I didn't really have any desire to go back and play through the rest of the side ops. Like, I played a bunch of the side ops to sort of get the the different endings, because there's like 3 endings you can pretty much say. Like, there's the chapter 1 ending, there's the truth ending, and then there's the kind of quiet ending. So there's pretty much 3 different endings to the game. But like I said, I really did like the gameplay for the most part, and the soundtrack is great. The main theme, Sins of the Father, is fucking awesome. That's all I have to say. So number 8.
And the
You
Bowie
probably,
song at the beginning.
yeah, rest in peace.
Yep.
Anyway,
Okay.
Derek, your number 8.
My number 8 is not like a new game for 2015, but it's like kind of a remaster. But they changed some stuff that's kind of a lot different than the original game. I almost put this in my honorable mention rather than in my top 10, but I really did enjoy it more than like the honorable mention games, and that is Dark Souls 2: Scholar of the First Sin, which I
That's right.
finished
That came out
playing
this year. Yeah.
the DLC with Darren recently, which is really good. Definitely, it's definitely worth playing. And I kind of wonder what the DLC was like in vanilla Dark Souls 2 on 360, PC, PS3. Just because in the main game they added like a lot of different enemies that weren't in the areas of the game that they were the first time, and they also changed some of the systems in that enemies will just come running at you even though you're not really like that close to them. It's like they can hear you from like a mile away, and that makes it a lot more difficult. Even with like a ranged character and you're trying to snipe enemies, sometimes they'll just still somehow they'll like know you're there and they'll come after you, and it makes it really difficult. But I'd really enjoyed the game a lot. I enjoyed playing the DLC.
Yeah, I agree.
And it does run better. I mean, it doesn't look a whole lot better on like newer consoles. I mean, the frame rate is better, I guess, but that frame rate is never really an issue for me. But I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I know people probably wouldn't necessarily consider it like a game to put on a list because it's not like a new game. But I played it in 2015, and it came out in 2015, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, like I did enjoy playing through the game though, but like I said, that's kind of the reason why. Because yes, it is a game that yeah, sure, it did come out this year, but it's still to me, it's pretty much a Game of the Year edition of a game that came out in 2014.
It's true. That's true. It's just the
can't-
thing. Like when I'm looking at the games that I played in 2015, I
Yeah.
enjoyed it more than
Yeah,
some games that
but-
actually did come out and they're brand new
Yeah.
games in 2015. So
Yeah, and there's a game that's pretty much it's an expansion that came out this year, but it changed the whole game.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean this changes the game, but not anywhere near as much as the expansion that we're.
Yeah,
So
like I said, like you did mention the whole different enemy placements, and it does it feels like you're playing the game for the first time again because it's so
It does,
different to
yeah.
what it was before. And very much I like unlike my first time through, where I pretty much played through it entirely solo. I pretty much played it mostly co-op. So I did, especially like you got to a point you were like way ahead of me. You were stuck in the undead crypt. Was it? Is that it?
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I was like well behind, and then it basically got off my ass and started playing through it again. Did like the bosses and that in co-op, and then got to where you're at, and then helped you out. And we pretty much played it since we played through it from then. Played through the end of the game and did all the DLC together as well there over the last like month or two.
did you have to make a second character though? Like you started and then you like quit and then started again?
No, I just changed my.
Oh,
character
did you like
to
go
it.
to use the?
Because I did, because I didn't actually respec though. I just because I had I used a dual wield character first of all. I was like, yeah, this is fucking too hard for me. I can't be arsed doing this, and just basically went back to the tried and true, sword and shield, build.
Oh, okay.
Because I was doing strength and dexterity anyway, so I wasn't going like magic or anything like that. Now it's more of a strength and dexterity build than what I did first time through, where it's more like a faith build. But yeah, I agree. It was a great game though, and I really did like the DLC. I think the last one's probably the best one. The Crown of the Ivory King, but I did like the first one
Yeah.
as well.
Yep. Agreed.
So anyway, Dennis, you're number 7.
Yep. So my my number 7 is Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. This game was higher on my list when I played it for sure. I really enjoyed it, but some games came along, or I thought about it and I was like, yeah, well, this game's a little bit better. This game's a little bit better, and it finally slipped to number 7. At one point, it was number 1, but slipped to number 7. The reasons, the
Six
reasons for
games
that.
are better than that came along, huh?
Well, in my opinion, of course, it's probably not everybody else's opinion, but yeah, um, it is a good game. I mean, it's not horrible. It wouldn't be in my top 10 if it was. I would never have played it. I never had any interest in playing it, but then I saw everybody. Oh my god, it's so great, so good. It's fantastic. You should play this game. I was like, okay, well, whatever. I'll get it on PC and try it out. And I really enjoyed it. I'm not at all a Metal Gear fan at all, like zero Metal Gear fan.
You
So
played 4. That's the only one you played before.
yeah,
And you did. Did you ever play Ground Zeroes?
I played Ground Zeroes, yeah, but I played it on
Okay.
the Xbox One, and I didn't
Right.
want to replay it on the PC, so whatever. Um, so like I played Ground Zeroes, enjoyed it, and I got this. Really loved it. Like I was trying to do stealth until I got caught and then shot everybody in the face, which happened all the time pretty much. Um, the only thing I would say, I'm a little bit on the same side as Darren here. The world feels empty. Like it feels really empty. Like there's nothing going on except when you get to like a post or something, or a base. Then there's soldiers around, but besides that, it feels like very empty. Like there's nothing going on at all anywhere. Um, and some of the missions really are, especially the side ops, really repetitive. Like it's pretty much the same thing over and over again. And
Yeah, that's another kind of fault I have with the game as well. Like some of the missions just tend to be the same,
yeah,
though, and it gets kind of tiring after a while.
I did a whole lot of side ops. Like to buff up maybe get better weapons and get better stuff that I could use in regular missions. And the other thing is, as I said, I don't really care about the story at all. So it's that probably forced it down a little bit in the list, but it's still, me saying that a Metal Gear Solid game is on my top 10 is quite an accomplishment right there. So it's still a really good game to play. I might go back and try to finish it at one point. But yeah, it's still a really good game. So it's my number 7 for
I'm
this
actually
year.
gonna. I wonder what it's gonna be like now because it's changed so much. It's saying with the different updates,
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah,
especially with the your resources is out there. Like I think they kind of split over now to your like online kind of base thing now. If you create one of them or something like that now, like I
That's
finished the
the way it
game.
was for me the second half of the game.
Yeah,
When I
like
played it, that's what they had changed.
yeah, I finished it luckily before that whole shit happened. It's like because I would not have liked that whatsoever.
yeah, that's another thing that scares me a little bit away
It
from.
wasn't it wasn't really that bad. Um, like when the game first came out, the servers were just like screwed completely. So anytime
Mhm.
you would pull up your iDroid, it would take like an hour to load up because they was like trying to connect to the server.
Mhm.
Um, and then once they eventually made it so that half your resources were on your forward operating base, the servers were a lot better, and it didn't really take any. It take like almost as long, or maybe a little bit longer than if you're playing offline to pull up your iDroid and do anything. So it wasn't really that big of a deal. Um, and while when I was playing it, I was fearful of being like invaded and having somebody steal
Yeah.
all my fuel resources. I invested like heavily in security, and I never actually invaded any person. Like I invaded like an NPC,
Mhm.
and I never got invaded once in my playthrough by like an actual player.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's because I had a lot of security set up, or because I never actually invaded a human player, so I didn't show up on like a list or something. I don't know. But
Well, I never.
wasn't really a problem for me.
Well, the thing is, though, I never really played online. I just basically stayed online enough to get the daily reward, and it's like, okay, I'm off. Bye.
Yeah.
I did that until they put half my resources in the forward
Yeah,
operating
the whole
base.
thing. Yeah, and then you had
Yeah.
to do it that way. Yeah, but I finished the main story before that patch came,
Mm.
and also if I had to do those variation missions again, like of earlier missions, like existence or whatever they are, subsistence, of earlier missions and things like that. If you had to do them in order to progress on to the main game, I would not have finished this game. Because I'm just glad you didn't have to do them in order to
so
progress.
Those are harder versions of.
Yeah, like harder versions of earlier missions.
Okay.
Like ones like total stealth. Like if you get caught, that's it. You have to restart the
fuck
mission.
no, yeah.
Something like that though. Like, but you don't need to do them though.
Mhm.
Like they pop up once you finish the first chapter of the game. Like the last mission is mission 31, and then like there's like main missions like 32 or something, and then like a few of the older missions, but like total stealth, subsistence, and things like that.
Okay.
But you don't need to do them, luckily enough.
Okay.
So anyway, mine's number 7 is again I assume will definitely be in Dennis's list. It's the first of the 2 episodic adventure games that came out that are on my list. It's Tales from the Borderlands.
Mm-hmm.
I only got it there and played through it probably like I played through it there. I played a bunch of them over like the last few months though, because again, Telltale games tend to be quite the way that the episodes come out are not always the best.
No, at all.
Like that's the worst thing about the Telltale games, where I tend to wait until the majority of the episodes come out and then I get the series. Because especially with like certain games like The Wolf Among Us or Game of Thrones, where there's like several months went by with no sign of a new episode.
Minecraft,
yeah. Well, Minecraft actually a lot better.
Yeah.
Like there's 4 of the 5 episodes have come out now.
Yeah, already. Yeah.
Since I think we came out in October or November or something, and like most of the episodes are out already. So I just wait till most of the episodes of it came out and then I played them there. But this is definitely the best Telltale game there's been since the original Walking Dead, and in certain cases it's even better than the Walking Dead.
Yeah, I agree.
And in other cases it is not. It is just a very enjoyable adventure with Reese and Fiona and the various cast of characters you come across, and Loaderbot's pretty awesome. What the fuck's the name of the Gortys is awesome. Gortys is awesome. And this like it's these 2 characters you just come across. They're pretty much like, one of them is kind of like she's a character who's trying to screw this other character out of like a big pay and things like that. Now it's like she's a con artist pretty much. She's working with her sister Sasha, who both learn under this certain character Felix, and it basically starts off. They come across these characters come across one another, and it's split between like I think it's the start of the game now where they're both caught by this certain character. You don't know who this character is.
It starts off and they're caught.
Yeah, they're caught.
Yeah.
And basically the way it works is they go back and forth telling their side of the story.
Yep.
Pretty much, and there's this big kind of brute guy. You don't know who it is though, but you eventually do find out who it is at the last episode. But the story that comes together though is just very enjoyable. Some of the characters are just really memorable, and it's a really great humor game though. Like I really did. There's a few points in the game where I kind of did laugh. It's like that was pretty funny.
Yeah, there's some really memorable stuff in there.
So just really memorable moments though, and like I don't really want to say too much of it though. I don't want to really just give away the plot now. Like I sort of give the gist of it though very badly though, but um, it's all about like if you played the other Borderland games, it kind of has the same plot though, but not entirely. But it's not like you're a hunter now, like a fault
Yeah,
hunter or something,
it's
though.
built around Borderlands, but you don't go shooting people and you don't go doing stuff. But there, some hunters appear from the original games in the Tales of the Borderlands. So
Yeah, yeah, and there are certain characters. Yeah, like I said, like there's Handsome Jack. Actually, despite the fact that
is
he
dead.
died, yeah, this takes place after the events of Borderlands 2
Yep.
now, and he comes back as some sort of like ghost per se.
Hmm.
But you find out kind of what his whole plan is
Hmm.
and things like that now, and what Reese says like he's a employee of Hyperion,
Yep.
so he is, and he kind of wants to work the way of the ladder, and like Handsome Jack's kind of like his hero pretty much, and then you find kind of like the relationship they have with one another though once you get into the game is like kind of interesting, and then you see what sort of happens then.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting and out there.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a very enjoyable game. Like I really did enjoy it though. It just has its great moments though and memorable characters.
Hmm.
I played the first episode and it was fine, but there's nothing really like drawing me to the second or third or fourth or fifth episode.
Well, it starts off a little slow, but it gets better as you go along.
Like I really enjoyed episode 3.
Yep.
Episode 3 is just pretty much like a a great kind of adventure film.
Yep.
It's kind of like an Indiana Jones flick to me, so it was in certain spots. That's kind of what it reminded me of.
Yep.
But episode 4 kind of went a bit downwards though, but then it picked up again for episode 5.
Yep.
Okay, so my turn, number 7.
Yep.
Yep.
Number 7, it's a short game. PS4, that's my main issue with it. Transformers Devastation. I really wish it was longer. I really wish there was like more characters in it. I really wish the rating system was just removed because I think it's just dumb, especially after watching a speedrun of a guy playing it one-handed while holding onto a Masterpiece Optimus Prime figure on the other hand. And the fact that he was not getting an S rank every time he played through it when he was getting like finishing the sections in like sometimes 10 seconds and he wouldn't get an S, like that doesn't make any sense. I just think the whole system is stupid.
But that's always been the case with Platinum games.
Yeah,
They're
that's
always
one
gonna
thing I
have
really
that
don't like about those games.
Yeah, I agree.
But I really, really like the battle system, or not but like the combat, and I like the look of it. I mean, it's basically like a Generation 1 Transformers game.
Mm.
Like, the music is a little too, I don't know, I guess butt rock is the word that like Brad or somebody would use. Like, it doesn't exactly fit with the Generation 1. I mean, the movie had a lot of those songs, like, or not a lot, but like 2 or 3, like what, Lion or White Lion, like Symphony of Destruction, and then a couple other ones from some like hardly known 80s hair metal bands. But like the cartoon, which is kind of the look they were going for, didn't have anything like that. It had more like symphonic or like what's the synthesizer kind of sounds to it. But some of it's good, but I think some of it's a little too much. Like it's too much into the hair metal direction in some spots. So like the voice acting is good. It's got they have a lot of the original voice actors. Not everybody, because some of them aren't alive anymore. But it's a really cool game. Really fun. It's fun getting like combos. Although, like when you watch that speedrun, the guy doesn't even use melee like at all. He's only using guns. That's something I kind of veered towards the end of my playthrough. Is like I found like using the guns was way more powerful than the melee.
Right.
And it seems like they didn't. It seems like the game was designed more around the melee, like with the whole like freezing time thing and kind of like the Bayonetta witch time system.
Which time?
Yeah, and I kind of want to play through it again and try try using like a different character and using all like guns and see how it goes. Definitely not an easy game. I played it on normal and I had issues with some of the boss fights, especially like the very end. Like I almost ran out. I had to use like a whole ton of healing items and stuff just because. Like I was using all melee, and like I think once I started using guns more, then like that made it a lot easier. So it's kind of weird. I don't know if that's like a balancing issue with the game or what. Um, but yeah, it would have been higher if it was longer and if there was just like more to it. And I wonder if that's the limitation because they put it on 360 and PS3 like previous gen consoles too. So there's not as much like space on the discs to have a longer game with more to it, like more characters, more systems and whatnot. So, but the style, it's like everything about that game is the style and like the visuals and it's like really cool, like really. And there's a lot of callbacks to the original show, like original cartoon with like the weapons, like those look like they came out of like the Transformers universe Marvel comics where they have like all the data on each character and all their weapons and stuff. It looks like it came straight out of that, And even in the cartoons they use the same weapons. So it's like a love letter to the Generation 1 Transformers pretty much, and it's nice that we finally have like it's not like a true Generation 1 game because Megatron still turns into a tank instead of a gun, which I don't know why. Probably because they wanna make it like the toys or something. I don't know, but because modern society doesn't like the kids buying toy guns, even though that's what we had in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, like just everything about the game is really good as far as the visuals go, and I really enjoyed it. Just wish it was longer. Even like co-op or something would be really cool too.
Yep.
Yeah, like that's. I forgot to put in my honorable mentions though, but yeah, that's probably the main reason why it wasn't in my top 10 either though, because I quite actually did enjoy it though, but it's not really necessarily a long game. It's probably what 5 to 7 hours, 5, 6, 7 hours or so. So it's not
like
necessarily a long
5
game.
maybe.
Yeah, but it's a fun game while it lasts. So, but yeah, I did enjoy it though. Like it's a pretty cool. Like I love Platinum games, so pretty much love most of their games, bar like one really. But yeah, it's a great game. So anyway, Dennis, on to your number 6.
Yep. So my number 6 is Tales from the Borderlands. So I guess we're
Stop copying me.
we're following each other. So yeah, you talked about it. Tales from the Borderlands has a great story, great characters. Gortys Loaderbot, who are two magnificent characters, which Giant Bomb didn't put in their shit because they didn't play the game. So they play games that they want to play, and that's why I don't listen to their stupid little podcasts. But yeah, so yeah, Tales from the Borderlands is really good. I thought it was a great game. To me, to be quite honest, I thought it was better than The Walking Dead, the original one. There's more going back and forth. The characters are more memorable. I think the story, well, pretty much all, I guess both of them have good stories, but I think it's the most memorable Telltale game I played from them from the very beginning. Really enjoyed it. I played it episodic. Well, I got the first 3 episodes were already out when I got the game on Xbox One for cheap. The first 3 were already out. The first 3 episodes. I played the 3 and then waited for the 2 others to come out. So yeah, not a whole lot to say about the game, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fantastic game. One of the good games of its type this year. So that's what I have to say. I guess nothing more. Yeah, Darren already talked pretty much about the same feelings I have for the game. So yeah, that's my number 6 for this year.
I wonder if they're going to do a season 2.
I don't know. They're probably going to do season 2 with different characters, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
that's what I think they're going to do.
Tales from the Borderlands, so it'll be a different tale.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, okay, my number 6 is a game that didn't get a whole lot of love. Well, got a bit of love on the Jam Bomb Game of the Year deliberations from two people, Brad and Jason. It came on Xbox One and PC, and it's Ori and the Blind Forest.
Mm.
Um,
Wasn't that your game of the year for a while?
no.
Oh, okay. I thought you really, really, really loved
I can
it.
tell you,
Because
I
it
can
came
tell you, I don't have that in my top 10 there. So don't.
Oh, I don't either.
Yeah. Well, it came out the same month as Bloodborne.
Oh,
So,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it came out like a week or two before Bloodborne did, though. Or I think it was the same day. Or I think it might have been a week or two before Bloodborne. Um, but yeah, it came out. I got it though, and I really enjoyed though. Like the first sort of 10 minutes is like, yeah, it's like the video game equivalent of Up, in a way. Where if you watch Up and watch the first sort of 5-10 minutes of like, and that big whole montage that happens in that film, you kind of shed a tear.
Yeah.
This kind of same thing happens here, where you might shed a tear, you might feel a bit sad. And then what follows is a absolutely beautiful looking 2D kind of action platformer with some Metroid elements. It's not exactly like Metroid now, but it shares its elements where you go around this big map. Certain areas you can't access until you have certain abilities, but it is more of a kind of action platformer kind of game, because there are certain parts later on in the game where like you have to these chase sort of sequences. It's quite hard. Like basically you have to like run away from a big thing, and all of a sudden you have to basically be picture perfect on some of the jumps, or else you're gonna land in the spikes and die and things like that. There, it's pretty much kind of like that. It's like some like Brad kind of. It's kind of near. It's not exactly at the level of Super Meat Boy, because it's really really hard, but it has some parts of it now. But I really love and the soundtrack in this game is just beautiful. It was probably my favorite soundtrack of the year until another game I played not too long ago pretty much eclipsed that. But it's just a beautiful game. Like, I am a sucker for games that have really lovely art style, and this is one of the most beautiful 2D games I've ever played. And I really like my Metroid games. So, and like you just play this little wee kind of, what's it? I don't know what creature Ori is though, but just like this little wee kind of little
Like a bunny or
pub
something.
yeah, like a kind of like bunny or whatever though. And you go through these lovely worlds, like this forestry area, or like this rocky, like snowy area and things like that now. And there's not the only thing I don't think there is though. There's not really necessarily any bosses per se. That's probably one of the things I would have liked about it more. And there's just more of these like chase sequences and things like that now. I forget though, there might have been bosses, but it's been so long since I played it now. But the chase sequences are very action packed and just quite tough though, and that made me enjoy the game. Some people might be put off about the tough difficulty in the game, but I really did enjoy it though, because most other Metroid kind of style games tend to be maybe a bit on the easy side, and this one sort of kind of packs a punch though. But I really did enjoy it though, and like they said, the first 5-10 minutes of it though, just kind of it's quite sad, and towards the end as well, like you see the big bird or something in like the trailers though, and you kind of find out sort of
Big Bird is in this.
that's
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, like the big bird in the trailers though, and you pretty much see the you kind of find out like her backstory though, and it's kind of sad as well. So, but it's a fantastic game though. I really did enjoy it. But yeah, it's a great game though. I know a lot of people didn't really think too much of it though. Like in Jam Bomb, and I don't think it was in a lot of. I think it was in GameSpot's top 10, which I'm glad to see. And I think it was in a few other people's top 10 lists, so it's glad to see it got some love, because it's a beautiful game.
I think GameSpot's top 10 was better than Giant Bomb's stuff, to be honest. But
what was their
I
game of the
agree.
year? Rocket League or Witcher 3?
Witcher 3, I think.
Yeah, so I figured.
Rocket League was number 2.
Yeah.
Which I definitely know isn't Dennis is going to be in this game.
Yep.
Top 5.
Yep.
Nope, it's not in mine. I didn't even mention it in my honorable mentions.
Well, you guys didn't play it. So.
I mean,
I did play
played
it
a couple times.
Yeah.
I played
Yeah,
it good
we all
bit,
played
though.
it a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't enough though to warrant a top 10 position. Like, I didn't love it as much as you did.
Yeah. That's true.
Just like it's just, I don't know. Like, I just feel that game wouldn't have gotten the love it got if it wasn't free on PS Plus. It was
Yeah, I don't
probably
think
still
so.
got. Yeah, I think that's the main reason why I got so much
Attention.
Attention.
For sure, yeah.
attention. Yeah, love and attention. Yeah.
Probably not love, but attention, yeah. I think that's the reason why.
But like, there's other games that come and gone that we can't released on PS Plus and don't
Yeah.
get a look in.
Yeah. Exactly.
But this is one of those first ones. It was free on PS Plus and got really a lot of attention. But yeah, I liked it, but not as much as you did. So anyway, let's get going with Derek's number 6, and then we'll split this part off and go into part 2. So anyway, go ahead, Derek.
Okay, number 6 is a game I haven't finished yet, but I put like 40 or 50 hours into. And that is Fallout 4.
Oh, that's right. You stopped playing it, right? After a while.
Yeah, I just haven't. I got to a point where I got sick of doing all these repetitive missions where you're like, I don't know, building reputation with the different factions, and each
Yeah.
one has like their own repetitive mission you have to do before you can do another like interesting quest, and that's
Yeah.
just extremely boring. And I think visually it doesn't really look that different or like better per se than Fallout 3 or even New Vegas. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like slightly up-res or something.
It's basically just the Skyrim game. It looks
pretty much like
pretty much the
Skyrim.
same as Skyrim.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't look a whole
I
lot better.
don't think of Skyrim at all. I think of Fallout 3 when I play
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah.
I don't know. Like I can see some people. I can see why you would be disappointed in the game. I mean, it's still a good game. But like, it plays well, and there are a lot of interesting quests when you can get to them. And the weapon customization is really cool. I really like that. Although now that I've kind of like maxed out everything for as far as the customization goes, like I've got my weapons that I want, and like I don't feel the need to change anything else. That system is kind of like over. Like there's nothing else for me to do in that system. You know, that's kind of disappointing. Like the only thing I would do differently is if I found a new legendary gun that has a perk that my other customized gun doesn't have.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would just take the mods off of that one and put it on the legendary one, which is what I did a couple times now already. And like I got to a point where it was like pretty easy and actually bumped up the difficulty, and it didn't really seem to matter that much.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
I put it on hard. I don't know if is there another one after hard, difficulty after hard. I forget.
I don't think so. No.
But like actually, I played it just recently, a couple weeks ago, because my friend, who's like a huge fan of Skyrim and like Fallout 3, wanted to see Fallout 4, and he doesn't have a Xbox One or PS4, and he wanted to see it. So I booted it up and played it, and I decided to put it on hard right away just to see how it how I would do, and I did fine. Like I wasn't really in any real danger, even though I got to a mission where it was like a witch academy or something I went to.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to see what that was because I saw it on my map, like, or I picked up a quest or something like way back.
That's a pretty good quest.
And that on that side of the map, like I haven't really gone that far on the like northeastern side.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured, well, I'll go over here and see what I find, just to show off the game. And you find some like a burnt down or abandoned, demolished church or something, and there's a bunch of Deathclaw eggs in there.
Yep.
And there's a savage Deathclaw or something.
Yep.
And it had a skull next to it. I was like, oh shit, I'm probably gonna die, fighting this thing. But I didn't. I took it out pretty easily. I mean, I didn't do a lot of damage to it, but I had a really high rate of fire weapon that I switched to.
Okay. You have a fat man.
And I just kept on pelting it, like kept on shooting it, and you know, eventually went down. I did use like buff out or jet or something, the one that gives me like some damage increase, which I tend not to use because you get addicted to the chemicals and like the drugs and stuff, and then there's a side effect to it. So there's kind of like a risk reward thing when you use those. But yeah, I took them out, no problem, and then I wandered around. I took out some like those big sentry bots, but those are pretty tough too. And they explode in like big, huge, like nuclear explosion when you destroy them, and those I took out without any too difficulty. So I think part of the reason why it's like become really easy is because I found this legendary sniper or like a legendary hunting rifle that I turned into a sniper rifle, where if an enemy has full health, you do double damage like every time.
Okay.
It's like the first time you hit an enemy, you're doing double damage.
Yeah, so, that's pretty good.
When you have a sniper rifle, or when you turn into a sniper rifle, those are, designed to be like one-shot kill weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hitting enemies from like really far away with that legendary gun that has double damage. Plus, if you're like hidden, you do a sneak attack damage as well.
Yeah.
And that's like 2 or 3 times depending on if you're hidden or not.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time I'm killing things in like one hit with that gun. It's crazy. And if I'm not, they're like more than half dead, so I can just finish them off with either another shot or two from that sniper rifle, or I switch to this. I have a few different guns that I use. There's a semi-automatic laser, or it's an institute pistol. I kind of switched to that because that has like 50% damage versus humans or something. That's has a really high rate of fire. But then I also have some other ones. There's a different laser pistol. There's a combat rifle that I like, and then I have a legendary shotgun that has like extra radiation damage that I like too, and that has like that's really good for fighting ghouls and stuff that come right at you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I really like the guns. I like the the VAT system, though I wish I still kind of prefer that they freeze time completely.
Yeah.
Just so you can kind of like strategize a little bit more, like you kind of see where all the enemies are without risking them like shooting at you or detecting you. And it seems like the stealth in the game it's not as easy to be hidden anymore. And I know I've seen some comments about that on Twitter as well.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to stealth out completely.
Although I've never really had a stealth build, but I always kind of try and sneak around at first, just kind of when I'm looking around and try not to get caught right away by enemies.
Mm-hmm.
And like the companions, like everybody loves what's his name,
Nick
the
Valentine.
android
Nick
guy.
Yeah.
Like he's okay, but I don't know, for some reason I enjoy Piper more. Piper. Yeah. I don't know, something about her I just enjoy more.
I used Nick for probably the first half, and then I used Piper for the second half of the game.
Okay. Did you finish it?
Yeah, I finished it. Finished the main quest. Because you have to choose a faction to finish it. So.
Yeah, I've basically gotten to the point where I think you have to choose a faction.
Yeah.
So.
Then you go kill the other factions, and then that's it. So.
Yeah, I think the Institute stuff is pretty interesting. Like when you first go in there, you're like, I don't like trust anything that's going on with what this guy's telling me, and it's kind of funny. What I did is, after I finished talking to him and going through all the dialogue options, and he's like telling you to like go look around and go and meet everybody and stuff. I like walked away. I turned around. I went into VATS and I shot him, killed him in one hit. Made no sound because I have a suppressor on my sniper rifle. Nobody knew, there were no alarms, and the quest said, leave the Institute instead of go meet everybody. So after that, I kind of looked around. I wandered around just to kind of see what else was around, if anybody would notice, and they didn't notice. And I was tempted to just leave that save and not and not reload to see what was happening. But I kind of wanted to see how else the game would play out if you kind of went with the Institute for a little while, just to see if you can figure out what they're really doing. And
I did do that, yeah.
So I did reload, and he's still alive right now. But that was really kind of funny. I enjoyed that, and I still don't trust anything that he said. So
I actually shot a fat man at him when it
was. Oh, jeez, that's cool.
Just fucking blasting nuclear style. Then I had the whole base on me, but yeah. I reloaded and
That's
did
funny.
some quests for him instead. So
Yeah, I haven't really done any. There is a quest I have where you have to like meet up with a cursor or something. I haven't done that, but
you
I
haven't
have
gone
that
down.
one.
Yeah, that's pretty much signaling the beginning of the ending process of the main quest.
Um,
I
so
don't have much
I
to
like the
say.
power armors. I like how when you get into power armor, it changes the HUD like completely.
Yep, that's cool.
Like that's really cool.
I like that you
But
can
it's kind
upgrade
of
your power
weird.
armor.
Oh yeah,
That's
you
cool.
can upgrade it with like there's a whole bunch of different upgrades. I still haven't maxed out all the like science skill or the armor skill that you need for those, but it's kind of weird how there's so many power armors out there. Like you can find them like all over the place, and
Yeah.
but in like the previous games, it was pretty rare to get one.
Yep.
I don't know. It just kind of made it like more special. But now it's like, oh, I have like 10 of them just kind of hanging out here because I'm kind of collecting them
Yeah.
and keeping them back at my base. So I don't know. I do like it a lot. I mean, there is a lot of good stuff about the game, but there's definitely issues. Um, yeah, I don't know. My number 6. It's kind of like this part of my list is kind of like iffy. Like I could switch out a lot of these
Yeah.
bottom 5 or 6, and not be too upset.
Mhm.
So I don't know. It's definitely not. If I would definitely put Fallout 4 in my top 10. I wouldn't move it down to honorable mention, but its spot isn't like set in stone. Like these last ones aren't really set in stone for me. It's just kind of like top 5 is pretty much set. So yeah, I don't know. I really like Fallout 4. I'm gonna go back to it at some point. That's for sure. I might wait till some DLC comes out. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. When is that
So
actually? When is it going on?
I
They
have no
haven't
idea.
said anything yet about when first DLC's out, as far as I know.
Has to be some DLC, right? It has to be so.
Of course, it would be.
Yeah,
They might
there's a
just
season
go with
pass,
the
so yeah.
yeah, of course.
All right. That's it
It's.
for me.
I'm going to talk about Fallout 4 in the next part. You know why?
I still don't know why you bought that game, but anyway, it's okay.
Yeah.
You could say the same
Well,
for me for Bloodborne.
I'll get to it anyway. Don't worry. This is going to be the end of part 1, folks, because we're going over 2 hours though, so we're going to take a little bit of a break. So stay tuned for our disappointments on our top 5 games of 2015. Stay tuned.
Bye.
Are we gonna hit stop?